In today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the differences of houses in Colombia versus houses in the US. This is going to be a house comparison of rural areas. I know not every house, not everywhere. I haven't lived everywhere. From my personal experience, what I have noticed living in Colombia versus living in the US in a house in the countryside. So one of the very first things that we're going to talk about, that this is very, very Colombian, and I've never seen it in the US. I've also never been to every state, everywhere. So this is like, take with a grain of salt. It's just entertainment. It's just to give you some ideas of what is different and what I've noticed. First things you're gonna see, this is white. Yes, this part is white, but the rest is very colorful. So houses here in Colombia, especially where I live in a heritage town, they are colorful. I have some green, some orange. Even this is the bottom of the wall is painted orange. As you can see, the entire house up to the ceiling is a colorful color. This is very, very common here in Colombia. And you can see even on the roof, it's like every other one is green, orange, green, orange, green, orange. And both of the doors that I have, even around the door, this is the door to the kitchen entrance door, it is colored. And here as well, colors. Colors, 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 colors. So even this is painted. And if you can see, the house, my neighbor, also has a colored house. So this is very, very typical Colombia house, and especially in a, like I said, a heritage town. Colorful, colorful, colorful. Every house in Colombia is beautiful and colorful. And the last house I lived in another area was pink, completely pink. I called it the pink house. And yeah, so this one, I don't know if I'm gonna keep these colors. I kind of want to do a different color, but that's like a project for the future. So, because in the US, you'll notice most of it is siding, and they're like gray or white or like a light blue or a light gray. You know, it's a very neutral color. Not here. No, not. If you've ever been to Colombia, you will completely agree with this. Is a very, very unique thing here to Colombia. Second thing that you are going to notice, my house is not made of wood. This house is, even these like pillars, I don't know what this is made of. This actually might be wood. So this is probably wood. But you'll notice, dirty dog, this here, this is not wood. This is probably cement and bricks, and I don't know what it's made out of, but it's not wood. And it's not like an external red brick like we have in the US, because yes, I know, I grew up in the South, there are red brick houses. This is not that. This is like a cement something underneath it, and it's painted over also. So you can see, yes, it's like, I mean, there are cracks and stuff. Yeah, there are cracks here, but we need to, this is a fixer-upper, in case you are just joining me. This is a very fixer-upper house. But you can see, like, you know, the paint was over these bricks, and typically it's underneath is like a concrete type of brick situation. Yeah, but like, I know there are houses in the South that are made of red bricks, and you can see them. They're these beautiful, you know, houses. Where I grew up from Kentucky, we had them, but most of the houses in the US are made of wood. So here, no, it is made of, I don't know, concrete, bricks. Like, this is probably some of what's underneath. This is like just a bricks, and you can see down the bottom, you can kind of see the outline here of where they are. Yeah, but these houses are very sturdy, and yeah, I don't have to worry about it burning down. But the top there's wood up top. So, I mean, yeah, if you go around and you see like houses here that are like, have been destroyed, you'll still see the standing of the cement pieces. But there is, so I'm not saying there's no wood. There is wood up top holding this together. And as you can see, so there is some wood parts. I think this pillar is, I think this is wood, And then you can see the 2x4s are, these are wood up here too. So that is made of wood, but like the main structure of the house is not wood. It is, like I said, some concrete brick sort of mixture. Okay. So yeah, so the third thing that you're gonna notice, we're doing the external of the house today, but next time we'll do room to room because there's a lot of differences here. Okay, one of the things that you might have noticed is, I'm gonna include these two. I don't have drains. I don't have gutters. I'm trying to think of the name. I don't have gutters. And here it is common. People do have gutters, but not everywhere. Not everywhere has gutters. In the US, almost every house has gutters. Here, yes, no, it depends who built the house, you know. And we have a lot of rain, so it just like falls off the roof. So that plus, you might have noticed my tiles are made of, like, they're terracotta tiles. They're not like shingles, or they're not, I don't know. We use shingles in the US, right? I think that's what it is. I'm not like a construction worker. I don't know all the technical terms, but these I know we don't use. Maybe in California where they have like the Spanish style houses, they do. So you might find this in some parts of the US because, you know, US used to be part of the Spanish colonization. So maybe you see some similarities in like that part of the world, but where I grew up in the South and the Northeast, you don't see these terracotta roofs. So you can see here, you see no drain pipes at all. And then you see this terracotta, yeah, I think you can kind of see. Oh, what a beautiful day. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see, but like, they're not shingles, they're the terracotta. So that also the next thing that is really common here, and I know this is what is gonna get me some pushback, is when I lived in the US, people who, yes, they have, well, I was gonna say backyard gardening is so common there. In the countryside in the US, yeah, I know people have backyard gardens. Here we have it's so sunny. We have front yard gardens, backyard gardens, hillside gardens, like everybody, even in the cities, even if you're in an apartment, like I'll go into town and people are gardening. They have tomato plants growing on their balcony. They have onions. Everyone has onions growing here. They have onions on the rooftop, onions growing in the front yard, and they have onions and tomatoes on their front porch, in their front yard, like I do. This is very, very common. This is my front porch. As you can see, it's a disaster because we have 8 zillion projects happening. So this is my front yard garden. I have some cilantro, anise, aloe, some flowers, pineapples I need to plant, basil, spinach, like randomness. I don't have any tomatoes right now because I tore them all up. Also, I have more here. This is like another herb. This is it's an ice cream bean. It's called guamo, I think I told you in the last video. Then I have guava and avocados. And this is my uchuva. I always say it wrong. But this is like my front yard garden. So even in the cities, you're going to see people keeping aromaticas. You're going to see people growing herbs. So it is very common in Colombia to have front yard gardens, patio gardens, backyard gardens. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie, in the US, my sister has a garden, but they kind of have gardens. They also live, it's like, you know, different climate. I can have a garden all year round here. But, you know, it's way more common here for everyone to be growing some form of their own food. And I know now there is a movement in the US to grow your own food. But for a really long time, we were too dependent on grocery stores. We were too dependent on the system to provide for us, which is, you know, I don't know, is crumbling, I think, or changing. I should say is changing. I don't know if it's crumbling, it's changing. But also something that I don't have that I'm going to be getting soon. A lot of people here have chickens in their front yards. They have chickens wandering free. So they have free, okay, This will be something else that is different here. Most people here have chickens, free range chickens. I mean free range, like in a lot of Colombian cities you will hear roosters crowing, even in the cities. And I know it's supposed to probably, I don't know, city ordinance, whatever, but you'll hear chickens. Even in Medellin, in some barrios, they'll have chickens in their front yard. And because chickens don't need that much space, right? They can grow, I could have them right here in this little area. I'm gonna put mine way down there, like I've talked about 100 times. I don't have them yet because my dog will eat them. He will kill them. So we need place for them. But it is very common, like my neighbors. I have some neighbors down there and they have their chickens running free. I have more neighbors down there. They have chickens in their front yard. So having front yard chickens, free range chickens is very, very, very common. Also dogs, something else that is very common here in Colombia related to house stuff. The dogs run free. They don't really lock them up too much. You'll see my videos of me walking, and the dogs are just like walking the road. That's very common. And the final thing that is different on the outside exterior part of the house, well, actually there are two more things that are different, is as I've been walking on the side of my house, have you seen any screen doors? No, and we have bugs. So screen doors are not common here. Something else that you might have noticed as I'm walking around my house, I might have said this is a window, this is a door, and you notice they're closed, and they are not closed with a glass window that you can see through, nor do they have a screen on the doors or the windows. So screens here, I don't know if they're not common or common because I've never had them, but I mean, maybe you live here and you might say yes, they are common. I just don't have them. So I'm not gonna judge on that because we are in process of putting screens up on the windows because we do have bugs. It is very hot and humid today, so we have bugs. It's been raining. But yeah, so the windows here, when people, like I said, this is a door. We can open this and it will just enter into the house. No screen door. And I mean, you can tell it's a door, but it's locked. We don't use this front door actually. And so it's really common here to have, this is also a door. So it's really common to have multiple doors, to have very outdoor indoor living because it's really hot climate and it's just outdoor indoor living is in vogue in California at one point, but it's like here it's just like a thing. It's just how it is. So this is another door that we have closed that we don't use. But you notice there's no windows, no screens, nothing. And this is a window. This little part, even this little tiny part opens. I can open that. But the entire thing opens. Actually, it's right into my bedroom. So it is closed because, I live near the road, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So you can see it's wood. This is wood. This is not like, there's no screen, there's no glass. And during the day, it's really common to have these open. Like on the other side of my house, I'll show you, we have them open and there's nothing inside. But everybody, it's like, even my neighbors, this is exactly how it is. Like at night when it gets cold, everyone closes their windows. It's for safety reasons. It's for climate, I don't know, it's just, I don't really have a reason because I don't really know. It's just how the houses are here. But you can see, like every time you see my videos, my doors or everything is always open. But this is, so we are putting screens in. So we put this in. Another thing, it is really common to have bars on the windows here. We don't. This is the only one that has bars. And in the U.S., you tell someone you have bars on your windows, they're going to ask you what type of neighborhood you live in. Here, it's common, it's normal. And yes, maybe at one point in some places they have more because it was more dangerous. In the town that I used to live in, we had bars on all my windows because it was a more dangerous place. So yeah, here we have these these are wood bars. These aren't like to protect. These are for like decoration. But you can see this is the window is open. And this can open too, but when you close it, it closes like it's like almost like a shutter. It's almost, yeah, they're almost like shutters. But we keep them open during the day. And that's the other window straight through there. Yeah, so having windows that are completely blacked out, closed when you shut them is how most of the houses here are. And yeah, I know in the cities, in apartment buildings, they have glass and screens. But this is country rural living. This is not city life. This is a very typical Colombian house. I mean, I would say, like, this is maybe more of an upscale Colombian rural house even, because I've been in some houses that don't even have this much stuff. So this is very, very bougie, and I live in a bougie town. So yeah, it's gonna be more upscale. I have done walking around my neighborhood tour, so you have seen the front gardens, the dogs running free, the people leaving their doors open all the time, the indoor-outdoor living, and yeah, that's how it is here. Like, when I go to the US, it's so funny. When I go to the US, I don't ever see people growing stuff on their front porches. The windows, everything's glass, everyone has screens. Like, it's nice because the screen doors are nice because bugs don't come in, but you know, we probably have more. I know in the South, it's probably more common. But I mean, can you imagine? We live, I said one day that I lived in a tropical climate, and someone made a comment that it was not. Is it really tropical? I mean, I live in the mountains, I live in the Andes. So you're right. I don't know, it's really hot, it's really humid. It gets cold at night. It used to all be a forest at one point, so you could say that. Oh, the third thing, the last and final thing that I want to talk about, that I have actually gotten some. Oh, actually, there's two more things. This thing is, someone actually made a comment once about having fences. So everyone here has a fence, a protective fence, and at night we lock it with a lock. We lock the outdoor fence, which when you go to the US, so this is my fence. First, let me show you my fence. This is the entire fence. It goes all the way up here. We have a gate that we lock every night with this. And under here we have a lock as well. And another fence, and we have a whole fence that goes all the way up the property. And we are in process of putting a fence along the entire road. Things protection, safety, so animals don't come in our property, and for the dogs, so the dogs don't go out. And it is everybody, I'm gonna say everybody, almost everybody has a fenced in property. That's how it is. That is the norm here. And you will notice when I do walking tours, some people, not everybody does, so not everybody, but the majority of people have a fence to protect their property. Someone once left me a nasty comment about fences, so you're a foreigner, you don't have to talk to your neighbors. No, this was here when I bought it from a Colombian, and it's a very Colombian thing, because if you go to the US, my sister has a fence for her dogs, but if she didn't have the dogs, she wouldn't have a fenced in yard. So having a fenced in yard in the US is, and having a locked gate is not common. And maybe where you live, you're gonna say, maybe you live in a gated community and you have fenced in thing. I don't know, maybe, but overall, one major thing that I notice when I go back home to the US is how everything is so open. So this is my experience, because here, no one's gonna enter my property, but if I don't have a gate, people will come in. They will come and pick my stuff. Like on the outside of this gate, outside of this fence, I have a little garden, and everyone's like, don't plant too much stuff out there because people will come by and pick it, and they will come by and pick it. Because that technically is my property, but it's open, so it's free to take, even though it's not, but that's how they think. So yeah, so if you don't want someone to take things from your property, you put it behind the gate. No big deal. I did plant some out there, like I have some flowers and I have some like herbs that I put out there, but I intentionally put them out there. If people want to come by and take them, I don't care, because I understand that if it's out there, someone might take it. That's completely fine with me. But now if they're going to crawl over my fence, then I'm not going to be so happy, because that's like the unwritten rule, is like outside the fence it's okay, inside the fence not okay, right? So, and we don't have like Ring cameras here. I think all my sisters have Ring cameras. Like a Ring camera is not something common. I do have a little solar light thing on the outside of the house. So when you walk by at night, it turns on. That's only because we have someone living downstairs. Another thing, oh yeah, one more thing. Basements are not common here. So I have a downstairs, but it's not technically a basement. It's like a 2-level house. So yeah, basements are not common, not a common thing. So those are a handful of differences between houses in Colombia versus houses in the US that I personally have noticed from living in both countries and now living in a rural Colombian countryside house. So this is not compared to the city. This is not compared to like a suburbia. I live in zone rural. So if you live in a rural in the US, which my sister does, she lives in rural farming community in Massachusetts. So I kind of compare things to what she lives in, and these are just a few of the differences. Like, she would not let her chickens roam free. She has chickens. She would not let them roam free and go into the street. Here they would. She won't let her dogs roam free. Here they would. So her house is built out of wood, and she has, you know, shingles and like stuff like that. So yeah, just a quick comparison to entertain you, to show you what life is like here in rural Colombia. So, and you can hear the motorcycles going by, which is why we want to plant trees. So yeah, hopefully this was entertaining. I will cover the rooms because I think it's interesting to see what is different versus what I'm used to versus what I have moved into. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.